So it has come to my attention that some people think that the perfect forbidden list is my prediction list, and I gotta tell you guys something. Oh no, what are you doing, baby? The perfect forbidden list is not a prediction list in any way, shape, or form. The perfect forbidden list was gifted to me by the gods. This information handcrafted to make the best Yu-Gi-Oh! Format where almost any deck can compete. This was so amazing that I was instructed by said gods to make a tournament on it and put it on Twitch. Shameless Twitch plug right there. But what you guys get? You guys get a little bit of a dose of reality. What's going on with you guys? TheCaliEffect, king of games here. And today, I have to set the tone for what I think is going to happen on this next forbidden list. That's right, guys, for the past 2 years, we've been getting very fair forbidden list, where no particular strategy gets directly hit or addressed, and only problematic cards have been addressed. But being the Yu-Gi boomer that I am, I've noticed one huge thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! Before and now. This entire year, there's been 0 competitive decks. Now, there's actually a very simple solution to this, saying that none of the decks are completely overpowered. Just make better decks, but that's not what we've seen from the past. This is going to be that forbidden list. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I predict that this forbidden list will be a lot harsher than the forbidden list that we received in the past. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you a rock solid prediction as well as reasoning behind the prediction because for the past few forbidden lists, I've been right. So of course, if you want to see more content like this, then make sure your 5th summon is a Nibiru to that subscribe button, but also be sure to hit that notification bell because, well, I normally would do a little smile thing, but go ahead, Echo, put some type of animation here and make sure we get that ding because we too strong. Without further ado, let's jump on in and talk about the next potential forbidden list. So before we hop into this forbidden list prediction, I want to tell you guys that I don't necessarily want this forbidden list to be true. I 100% want to be wrong, and more importantly, I also want to hear your opinion about said forbidden list. Go ahead and post down below in the comment section, what do you think will happen on this next forbidden list? And what do you feel needs to happen on this next forbidden list? This particular card is going to be really hard for Cyber Dragon players, as this needs to happen no matter what. Predaplant Vert Anaconda needs to be banned on the forbidden list, and it has nothing to do with cards coming out in Burst of Destiny. It also has nothing to do with Red Eye's Dark Dragoon. Now, with what Predaplant Vert Anaconda does is that it requires 2 effect monsters, which was already ridiculous, and it allows you to send a fusion or polymerization spell card from your deck to the graveyard and pay 2,000 life points to copy that card's effect. Immediately off the bat, Predaplant Vert Anaconda becomes an extremely busted Yu-Gi-Oh card because it's actually worded the exact same way as Destiny Hero Diamond Dude, meaning that you can send the fusion card from your deck to the graveyard and gain its effects, but not have to pay for its drawbacks or its costs. Cards that currently work extremely well with Predaplant Vert Anaconda is Super Polymerization and Red Eye's Fusion, and the reason why these cards are so balanced is because they have significant drawbacks to prevent them from being splashed in everything. Predaplant Vert Anaconda not only is generic, it literally ignores those costs. And while right now that's not exactly a huge issue with Predaplant Vert Anaconda being able to make those cards extremely free, the genuine problem with Predaplant Vert Anaconda is that while this card exists, every single time that you print a new polymerization or fusion card, you have to keep in mind Predaplant Vert Anaconda potentially ignoring its drawbacks and making it a busted Yu-Gi-Oh card. In essence, Predaplant Vert Anaconda just has terrible design. It's not about Red Eye's Dark Dragoon, it's not about the card that's coming out in Burst of Destiny, it's the fact that every single time you make a fusion or polymerization card, you have to look on your shoulder. If we can reference cards on the forbidden list, cards like Union Carrier are that exact same way. Anytime you make a monster that can interact with the field to the graveyard, you have to look at Union Carrier, and that's the reason why it was banned itself. But you know, in before, Herb Dark Dragoon needs to be banned, Red Eye's Fusion needs to be banned. Seriously, guys. Sometimes it's no getting through to a glue eater. Imperial Order is another card that I think Konami will take a long, hard look at, but I don't think that they will ban it. Yes, Imperial Order is really good at stopping some of those counterbalance cards like Lightning Storm and Forbidden Droplet, but Imperial Order also keeps decks like Sky Striker in check from running rampant. Imperial Order also does have its fair share of drawbacks compared to what it used to do, forcing the player's controller to pay 700 life points until they can't, and they can't use spell cards either. I think Imperial Order will start to balance itself out where more monsters and traps have spell and trap card destruction, which could be easily fixed to make this card a little less busted. Now, the reason why a lot of times I'm pretty spot on for Forbidden List is that mine has a narrative as compared to a lot of Forbidden Lists that you see. We're gonna stick to that narrative on Limited, which is in with the new, out with the old, as we're going to be hitting Magical Meltdown on this Forbidden List, which is definitely a head scratcher. Come on guys, how many times have you opened up the Forbidden List, seen the Forbidden part, got excited, and then seen the Limited part and be like, oh no, what are you doing, baby? It happens every time. Magical Meltdown isn't necessarily a good hit. It's not even a happy hit. It's a hit that you expect out of Forbidden Lists like this, but there is actually some reason behind it. Even though we're way past the ban window in Magical Meltdown is a completely busted card movement that we had like 2 years ago. Now, the limitation of Magical Meltdown is strictly just to slow down Shaddoll Invoked. This is a sneaky good deck in the current format. If you would ask me, Shaddoll Invoked is actually, probably in the top 5 best decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now. When we move into the next meta, Konami has to do everything to make sure that the older decks don't overpower the newer decks. So hitting a card like Magical Meltdown, which would slow down the Invoked engine and make Shaddolls a lot less consistent, is definitely up their alley of something that they do, regardless on how Magical Meltdown isn't necessarily a problematic card. The theory behind this is that it just significantly makes these decks a lot more vulnerable so newer strategies can come in and be able to be played. Yeah, and it's happened so many times before. Just ask Ritual Beast Ulti Kanahawk. You know, the card that should not be on the Forbidden List. Now, there is going to be another address, but not in the way that you guys think it should be. Tri-Brigade is the best deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! And players have been screaming for Tri-Brigade Revolt to be limited in some capacity. I don't think that that's gonna happen, as it is a core component for the Tri-Brigade strategy, but there is one thing that you can do to slow down Tri-Brigade a little bit, but still keep it in the competitive ranks, as it is a deck that was introduced last year. With that being said, the limitation of Fire Formation Tenki is another card that players will probably be scratching their head towards. Unless you're a salty ass warrior player, because you'd be like, Reinforcement of the Army is at 1, so Tenki should be at 1. Because you know, Beast Warriors and Warriors have the exact same card pool. A quick synopsis on Tenki allows you to add 1 level 4 or lower Beast Warrior monster to your hand, and it also gives all of your monster 100 attack. This makes Tri-Brigade ultra consistent, as now you have 6 copies of Tri-Brigade Fractal to search from your deck to your hand, and then get Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast into your graveyard. See? I'm being professional. I haven't said BBW once. Now where them BBWs at? I got a pocket full of ones and a whole bunch of regret to listen to. Ironically, that's not even actually the main reason why we're hitting Fire Formation Tenki. Players are starting to play Zodiac inside of Tri-Brigade, and that's something that Konami don't want. They want you to hate Zodiac. They banned Trident Mommy for a reason, guys. In this particular scenario, this is killing 2 BBWs with 1 list. Limitation Fire Formation Tenki not only forces Tri-Brigade players to forget the Zoo engine to make free Zeus, it also makes the deck a little bit slower, but still able to compete inside of this format. Or next format. For semi-limited, there is going to be a couple of questionable moves that I think Konami will make, but it actually makes sense when you think about it in the long run. Take, for example, semi-limiting Gold Sarcophagus. This card allows you to banish 1 card from your deck, and then 2 turns later, add that card to your hand. This was extremely good and got limited because of Thunder Dragons, but seeing that Thunder Dragon Colossus is still banned on this list, unlike the perfect Forbidden List, because, you know, free my nigga Colossus, it can be fairly safe for this card to come off. Gold Sarcophagus also helps the B-Trooper strategy by using it to banish Resonance Insect from your deck to essentially be able to Foolish Burial an Insect card to your graveyard. It also helps the new Flunderies and Sword Soul archetypes that are coming out in Burst of Destiny. This almost seems like a no-brainer to bring Gold Sarcophagus off the list, as it makes some of the newer strategies a lot more competent in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game. And moving on to Unlimited, the part of the Forbidden List that's supposed to make everyone happy and exciting to try out strategies, well, I mean, unless you are a Pendulum player, you're not gonna be real happy. Double Iris Magician comes to 3 in this particular list. This should be on every single prediction list, as it's not doing anything to 2, and so does Skullcrow Bad Joker. Now, the reason why these cards can completely come off the list is because even with those cards off the list, Pendulum still isn't a top contending deck, unless you're asking a Pendulum player. Oh yeah, please tell me how Pendulum is the best deck in the universe. It's the best deck of all time. And how consistent has it topped in the past few years?
Am I blind? Let me check my glasses quick.
Don't worry, I'll wait. We got all time. You know, you bring up the facts, statistics, data, and yeah, just go ahead and tell me about that. Now, it's very fortunate that these cards will greatly help pendulum strategies like Performapal and Magician, but it doesn't necessarily do enough. These cards probably should have never been on the list in the first place. Now, it's really cool that Konami is going to give a boost to the pendulum strategy, the same strategy that they completely butchered, but unfortunately this would not be enough to put them in top tier. Now, there are a few cards that I could hope to God to come off the forbidden list, like Dynamite, the True Draco Fighter, and Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal. I don't think that either of these are happening, but if I had a wish list, those would be on it. And lastly, I feel like you guys took it as a joke when I put it in the perfect forbidden list, but Skill Drain to 3 is something that I know that should seriously be considered. Skill Drain does create a situation just like Rival of the Warlords in Gozen Match, where decks that heavily rely on effects have to respect this card. With that being said, cards like Twin Twisters, Cosmic Cyclone, and possibly even Harpy's Feather Duster will move to the main board, balancing out Skill Drain. But really, it's not just Skill Drain creating this, it's Rivalry, Gozen Match, Solemn Strike, Mystic Mine, stuff like that where players aren't comfortable enough to play those cards inside of their main board. Skill Drain gives them a reason to, play it. But if I'm gonna be so real with you, I do love Skill Drain, and I'm a glue eater when it comes to that, so maybe it's just me wishful thinking. Well, that is all that we have for today's prediction list, the forbidden list that will essentially ruin Yu-Gi-Oh! As we know it. Of course, I want you guys to tell me, what exactly are you expecting for this prediction list? Do you think this prediction list is trash, or what is your prediction list? I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a lot of ban Dragoon, ban Red Eyes, ban Dark Magician, and most importantly, ban the most powerful card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Ban Psy-Frame Driver. Best card. Every time you draw it, W. If you guys want to check out more awesome TheCaliEffect content, go ahead and check out these videos, as I'll catch you on the next one.